The next one is we need to estimate the translation model. So, if we, so far we have looked at PE, right. So, we know how to, given a sentence, we know how to really find the probability of a sentence, of a new sentence that is provided, right. So, this we have done earlier. So, we just rush through those slides. Now, the next question is, how do we really estimate the translation model? So, this is what we are trying to do, isn't it? So, here, so this is what we are. We have some ideas on the language model, and now we need to really estimate this parameter from the corpus. Let us see how that could be achieved. So, one way is to find the count. The count is the count of the French and the English sentences, and then use the normalizing factor of this, and finally produce a parameter value for this. So, in simple terms, translating from French to English is to identify the bag of words in English and later syntactically correct the sentences to produce the right English sentence. Okay. So, in this model there is no need to use any French to English translated corpus to train the language model. Is this true? Okay. So, I am just leaving this to you to find out whether this particular model would work. So, is it possible to estimate the probabilities here? So, this is nothing but your joint probability, you know that, right. So, the question here is, will this model work? Is it good enough to really find the translation for us? So, I would like you to go through some material that are available in the research community and check whether this particular model will work for us. Okay. So, let us now look at the translation that we had done earlier from a different perspective, right. So, earlier we just looked at the word in the Swahili English model and then tried to find out whether my relates to certain words in the Swahili language and so on. So, in this case what we do is, since we do not know those languages that we are translating, we want to find out whether there is one-to-one correspondence first, right. So, that is how we would have started even in the English to Swahili. Here also we have a sentence in English and we have a sentence in French. So, we try to find the probability of this sentence in French given the English sentence. Okay. So, we try to map one on one, okay, in this case. And then if we have English to French or the French to English, we do this. Okay. We try to align the words in the French to the English words. We do not know whether that is the right way to do it or not, but let us do that first. Okay. If we do that, is it possible for us to really get the right translated version? So, what steps we normally do? As a bilingual, if somebody speaks in Tamil and you have a friend who does not understand Tamil, you want to give him the English translated version. So, what steps do you take? First thing is, we try to understand the meaning of that sentence, since we know that language well, and then we also know English. We probably know all the words from Tamil to English, because you are an experienced speaker in English and also in Tamil. Sometimes some words are very difficult to translate. So, at that time we will have some trouble. So, how do you really make up that particular sentence? We add additional words in English so that we convey the meaning. So, we have some ways to do it, but we do not know how we are really doing that, right. So, it has been somehow inbuilt into us. Do we really form the bag of words when we really want to translate from what we heard to English? I do not think we do any of those, right. Do we assemble word to word? I do not think we do that either when we do the translation. Do we assemble bag of words in both cases? No, I think we mentioned that earlier. Okay, so then how do we do that? So, can we just call it as as a string of words that's already framed in the mind, and then we are only rewriting this string from one language to the other? Can we think of it in that fashion? So, these are all things we, even though we have been doing this day in day out, we have lost the ability to really code this in certain algorithms to solve the problem, correct. So, that is what we need to really bring into this. If we have to really get a handle on how to translate from one language to the other, applying certain constraints in order for us to translate from French to English. So, in this case what we would do is we will first restrict the length of this sentence. So, now we need to look at this from this angle of the size. So, you look at the sentences in English and then restrict the number of words that you want to form in the translated version for French, and then finally create a distribution. So, is this easy to estimate? I think this is not very easy to estimate. It is a very hard problem to estimate all that. So, it is difficult to estimate directly. So, we introduce the concept of alignment, right. So, there could be so many different possibilities in the earlier case, also because of the restriction that we have imposed. So, we need to split this into various small pieces, so that we can finally estimate this. Okay. So, that is where we bring in what is called as an alignment variable. You remember we have been trying to translate from English to Swahili. We are mentally doing some kind of an alignment of words from English to Swahili, as we had seen more Swahili sentences, right. And this is something we are going to be doing. So, we do this mentally, but we need to really give a formal picture to that. That is where we are going. So, if you give a formal picture to that and the model to this, then it is possible for you to repeatedly do this. It is not going to be just a one time empirical approach. Okay. So, that is where we are bringing in the formal approach, where we try to get the alignment variable. So, let us find out what is the alignment variable. So, let us say that we have a seed word in English that starts this translation process. Here we have an English sentence and we want to translate that into French. So, assume that the seed word is 0. Let us assume this first and then see the examples in the next slide. When you align the words, for example, word 1, 2, 3, okay, and then this is the English sentence and this is the French sentence. We have what I mean by alignment is trying to map this word of English into the French word. So, we have 3 alignments here. Okay. So, in the case where there are m French words, so we will have m alignments. Okay. In this case, this is 3, alignment is 3. So, we have, if you align it, So, this is how it is, right. So, first word, this is your alignment for French, that is the first word in English is aligned to the first word in French. So, that is given by the index of this array. So, if you consider this as an array, the index of this array will give you which word we are looking at in French. Okay. The first word in English is aligned to the first word in French given by the English word 1, right. So, the second English word is aligned to the second element in this array, which is the second word in French. So, in the same fashion this. Okay. So, we can also have something like this. Okay. All right. So, this is what we are talking about here. So, if you look at the alignment, there are various combinations that you will get into. It is equal to n plus 1 to the power m. So, that many alignments you will have, and then that many parameters that we have to estimate if you have to really translate this. So, the idea is to find what is the most likely alignment that gives the exact translation for us. Okay. Out of the so many combinations of alignments, we need to find just one alignment that is most likely. Okay. So, here again we are going to be estimating the alignment probability depending on the position of the word. So, this alignment is the backbone for statistical machine translation. Okay. So, we will talk about a few alignments. First one is the bijective alignment, where every word in each text is coupled exactly to one word in the other text. For example, if you have 6 words here, every word is connected to the other one. It is possible that there could be one English word that could align with 2 French words as well. All right. So, in this case, no word remains uncoupled or left out. This is one example, but that is a very ideal situation. If you look at the second example here, we have an English sentence. Now, the book is on the table, and then the French equivalent is le livre est sur la table. So, when you align it, the word now is not aligned to any of the words, right. The second word is aligned to the first French word, and then third word in English is aligned to the second, and that is what we are representing here, right. The second word in English, third word in English in this way. So, another example, if you look at this, the same English and French sentence I have taken here, and the alignments are a little different. The third word in English is aligned to the second word in French. Okay. All right. So, there are so many possible alignments that you will get, and we need to find the right alignment which really helps you in terms of the translation. Okay, so, this is another example. The word 3 is aligned to all the words in French.